At WorkSmart Education, we build e-learning programs and other training assets for financial institutions. I started WorkSmart because I was frustrated by how ineffective traditional training was. When I was in banking, I would send my people away to be trained, but when they came back, they couldn't apply what they had learned on the job. Now, I viewed training as a crucial investment because it drove financial results and it shaped the client experience. But this was an investment that just wasn't working. So I did some research. It turns out only 10% of corporate training expenditures are actually transferred to improved job performance. That's why I started WorkSmart Education, to build and provide training that generates results. Here's how we do it. We're former bankers, so we know the skills and the knowledge that your people need to succeed, whether they're in corporate banking, commercial banking, small business banking, or private banking. We're also business people. We recognize that while training is important, it can also be costly and time-consuming. So we're constantly looking for new ways to improve the effectiveness and reduce the cost of training. To do this, we stay current on the latest brain research. And there's been a lot of it in the last decade, more than in the previous century. So if you haven't upgraded your training programs in the last few years, chances are they're not producing the best results that they could be, and they're probably doing it more expensively than they need to be. Now, we also find ways to use technology to reduce training costs, such as our Train Before They Start program, which is the subject of another video on our site. Our philosophy is that successful training works like a pyramid. For trainees to use their training, they have to understand and remember the skills and the knowledge that they have learned. Thinking about training this way helps us to choose the best evidence-based tools and techniques to achieve each one of these milestones: understanding, retaining, and using. Let me give you an example of how we generate understanding. Research has shown that people learn new information, new processes and procedures better through online learning than through classroom work. So we use e-learning to build understanding. And here's an example of how we generate retention. Studies have shown we forget up to 90% of what we've learned after only 3 days. And a lot of this happens in the first few hours after a training event. So we use spaced retrieval to interrupt that forgetting process. And we also use a tool to encourage participants to actively engage with content. Because, again, research has shown that passive absorption, which is a common problem in both classroom training as well as with e-learning, doesn't produce great training results. So now you know the 3 parts of our training philosophy. Our approach works because it identifies the milestones that need to be reached for training to be a success. It helps us to choose the best evidence-based tools to deliver these milestones, and it shows what needs to be tested to ensure the training has been successful. You can see our pre-built courses by clicking Solutions at the top of the WorkSmart site. We can customize these courses to incorporate your brand identity and any specific processes that your institution uses. And of course, we can design and build custom courses that meet your specific training needs. Let's have a conversation about how we can develop your people. After all, better people mean better results. Thank you for watching, and be sure to watch the other videos on our website.